As some of you know, I came here for medical reasons and expected to be here for 2 months. And I'm going to call this Nadaville, which I stole from a great writer. You should follow him on Medium, Phil Rockstra. And somebody's out here, they're putting a sewer in. And like that has a big hole in the road, okay? So Nadaville, where every house is identical and it's very transient. But, the person I'm staying with bought his and then all the way up to that corner where he has a vacant land so many years ago, before all of this then just sort of happened. And so he planted all of these and the mesquites and right. But what happened here is what and I really, this is so foreign to me to be in a neighborhood like this. There's Murphy. Good morning. That, at first I was just getting sicker because of it. The water, heavily chlorinated, just surrounded by people who have a very high awareness out in the Joshua Tree area of environmental issues. We have a major one, the Cadiz water pipeline that will pump down the aquifer here, and it needs a tremendous amount of focus because it was shot down and dead until Trump, and then Trump, green-lighted it. So, but as this has gone on, and I've been here much, much longer than I ever imagined in Nadaville. And lately, as some of you know, I've had 2 pulmonary embolisms that have added to, it makes it very hard to walk. And so I just make myself, and to play stringed instruments, the blood thinners I'm on, and I'm hoping to get on to something called nattokinase, which is really the fermented soybean, but now made into a medicine that is being used. I think it'll end up being a prescription for blood clots and actually dissolves them and thins the blood, because when you have this, you're automatically you're out. You don't have a choice because you're not even conscious. You're immediately put on blood thinners. Come on. And so we're kind of looking at the ruins. My dear friend here is struggling with dementia. He's 72. But he is quite clear about his years in Armenia under Soviet Union, part of that at the age of 3 from Egypt, a repatriation of the Armenians. It was a big deal. And it's a subject that very few people seem to talk about. And they go back from wherever they came from, including the United States. He came from Egypt. This propagandist, Stalinist call, return to the homeland. Well, he got out of there, needless to say, and he was a kind of, radical in a way, a musician, and someone who had studied the Earth's crust and worked in Russia, and, but he got out of the Soviet Union in 1973 and came to Los Angeles, and very involved with the Armenian music community. But as the years have gone on here, as he moved out into the desert, it's got to be more than 20 years, his initial enthusiasm is failing him, Where's Murphy? I mean, he's the star of the show. Maybe you'll see my feet. I have to wear... Oh, I've only got 20% on the battery, so where did he go? There he is. You're the star. My feet in, fake sheepskin slippers because I can't walk. I've got a certain distance I can go, and then I have to stop, which is very frustrating because I can't, keeps my carbon footprint down because I can't really drive. But, I'm trying to fix it, okay? And working on some really big music and film projects for funding for them. to save my life, because the government isn't going to, having been denied every pension due me, and I'd like to talk about this. I get, from Canada Pension right now, and this is going to change, but after paying $5 a month is the only way I can get a direct deposit down here. It costs me $5 a month. I think I get $23 a month from Canada. And then keeping my SoundCloud account up, which is really important when you're applying for, funds and all of that, and which are Canada, and I'm supposed to be in Canada. I then have a food card, and I make all of Murphy's food, because, dog food, anything like that is not covered. And I have medical coverage here, and I have the help of Music Cares, the division of the Grammys, because it's looking like I may be able to have, experimental surgery at Stanford. And so, there's snow on them there mountains, and California is officially out of the drought. But anyway, I want to talk about this neighborhood, Nottaville, or Murray Lane, Yucca Valley, California, which, like any other suburban subdivision, was plunked down in the middle of the desert. And you've got the houses all in a row, so that there's that row, and then you've got this walled, we walk this every day and night. This is all from the sewer recently, and a fight I put up because they were going to run and take out all of this to put the sewer pipes. And so I fought this out in the rain, and they changed where they are routing them. So anyway, we've got to watch Murphy. He's having a little digestive problem right now. We're old. Well, I say elder. Elder means, I think, that you might have a little wisdom and not just be old and taking up air and space, okay? Watching television or something, which unfortunately... Well, that's okay. Armenian television. I'm learning a lot. And so is he, because he has no one to speak Armenian with, and no one comes to visit him, including his family or his son, and I find it just horrible. So anyway, there's this path, and behind the properties, and it goes down to Highway 62, just not very far. You can see it in the distance, and I probably will run out of battery on this particular one. And then there's this rough path that goes up to another road where the school bus comes in, and right. So behind my window, with me as mostly a shut-in, like I was as a child for years, I get to see everything. I get to see people walking by, everybody. And then I have the desert. And so there's this strip here. And then across the road, which is very busy, Warren Vista, see, this is all lined out in lines. Here is the east stone for my medicine wheel that I have done here of the existing. So facing east, there's a whole area that's still wild, full of Joshua trees and native plants. And where's Murphy? There's Murphy. And there's signs up that it's for sale. You are not legally allowed to take anything out of here. It's a California law, but this is just, they figure they can just ride three-wheelers over it. If they just dump garbage here, I'm constantly cleaning the garbage. These purple, so this is walled, and my friend's property is not fenced. Everything else is but his, and so his is a wildlife crossing, whether it's coyotes or roadrunners and rabbit. Everybody comes there. We've got lots of birds, and I have to keep track of Murphy because in his old age he tends to wander, and this highway is crazy, and people drive too fast and they don't care. But anyway, these bands of things, these wall, road, Nottaville, walls, path, strip, highway, wild, and then the sky. And every day, let's hope he's successful this time. We'll give him some privacy. These purple flowers turn into what are called goat hooks. This part becomes unbelievably sharp, and because of all the rain and everything, it's just, yeah, it looks great. It looks like a field of purple flowers, and oh my, I'm using a kitchen knife to get them all out down at the house. Technique I learned in Taos. It really works. You know, you go pretty fast. It's like a little scythe. But out here, you know, Murphy's going to have to wear boots really soon to protect his feet. It's already hard enough. Oh, congratulations. That was good. Okay, and I have to remember where, because I carry with me a pickup bag. So, I'm going to do this every day with my thoughts. Now, here's something. What is this plant? Because most of these are invasives, because they ran cattle here. And so you have, I mean, the tumbleweed, the iconic tumbleweed, is actually a Russian thistle that was intentionally planted because it's the highest protein fodder for cattle, and you know, so the cattle ate it, and so you didn't have tumbleweeds, and it was very good. Okay, I got 15%. So I have, I guess, lots to talk about. How to live on nothing through the kindness of friends. You know, and certainly hoping to change that and become, you know, what is a sustainable life as an artist? I think this has been, you know, the general theme of my life. And, you know, I'll try to do some a cappella. I guess we listen to a lot of great new music, and I wish I could, you know, play it for this show. I could sing you a little one that I really like from Boy Genius. I am never anywhere I go. When I'm home, I'm never there long enough to know. There's so many unbelievably great musicians rising these days, and women in particular, just amazing. Mind-blowing. So I don't know, I'll have a lot to say about lots of things, so I'll try to do this every day. And, you know, none of this is native. And let's find some native, apart from the beautiful here. You know, the blossoms are about to open on the Joshua tree here. Oh, so beautiful. These are my friends. I mean, truly, I talk to them every day. They're my friends. Real friends. And then, you know, the natives are here. There's a native sage here that has a very small leaf here coming out. Acacia, creosote. These are all natives struggling. You know, you can see how the non-natives just take over when you have this much rain. Not necessarily. And, you know, the three-wheeler people have, you know, kind of destroyed where the native gourds were growing, but I saved a lot of seeds, so I'm going to plant it. Alright, well, I'm wishing you love and hoping it's just a great day for you in the middle of all this madness of the world, you know. I'm here to tell you it's possible to, you know, make your way even through the foxtails. Look, there's sage and a young yucca, Joshua tree, coming out of the trunk of this one that is leaning, but still very much alive. This is how I feel. This one's my favorite for that reason. It's bent so much, and yet, look, it's putting out this, you know, beautiful blossom. So, bloom where you're planted is the message of the day, right, Murphy? Okay, so we're going to go back and do some work. Love to you all. Nope.